So I'm going to keep this simple because I love this care method because it is simple. And what I like about it is I've used it probably 100 times over the last 20 years. And I can always depend on it. So if I have a customer say I come in and, hey, Mrs. Smith called and she's not happy with what we did yesterday. So now I have to call Mrs. Smith back, and usually there's some anxiety, and usually it's around, I don't know what Mrs. Smith is going to say. I don't know what to expect. But when I have sort of the backing of this care method, a system that I know works, so I know if I'm calm, that's a good way to start. That's the C. The A is acknowledge. So I acknowledge what she is saying. So she tells me what the issue is. I repeat it back just to make sure I understand. Then I go into the resolve. So I might not have the solution right then and there, but the resolve might be, let me put a plan together and I'll get back to you, or let me talk to so-and-so and I'll get back to you. But I always want to make them feel that there's a resolution coming, or we have the resolution. And then that's the C-A-R, and then E is the big one, is just elevate. And so once I get the customer, get things resolved, I want to take it to another level. So my goal is to leave that customer happier with this resolution than they would have been if nothing went wrong in the first place. And so I want to go there. I want to make sure she's happy. I want to prove to them, hey, when something goes wrong, we're all over it. And so when I get that resolved, the customer knows how we're going to act in the future, and it actually makes us more dependable. And I've gotten lots of referrals from people who had an issue, and we resolved it well. One of the things, this is small, but I always say if I'm going to be late for an appointment with a customer, I always call. If I'm going to be, say, more than 3 minutes late, I call. And when I call and say, I'm going to be late, so I messed up. Sorry, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to be a few minutes late. Are we still good to meet? Oh, yeah, we're still good. So when I get there, they say, thank you for calling. So you're basically proving that when something happens, you know how to handle it, and you're going to be professional and dependable. And so when you have something go wrong and you handle it correctly, it's the same thing. So you actually end up building equity if you do it right and you do that elevation piece. So that's it. I was going to make this really short, but it ended up being a little bit long. But this care method is great because you just use it every time. You're confident. You don't need to go in stressed out because you know it's going to work.